Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Me, Myself, and today we're joined with one of my favorite performers ever, period, regardless, in general, and in New York City, specifically the Brooklyn scene. We have Julie J. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, love.
Of course,
I'm
thank
so happy
you.
to be here.
I'm glad you are. I'm glad to see you excited about it because people come in
Yes.
there just like, we don't know what to expect.
Oh,
da, 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 da.
It's funny because my job is talking to people. Like I engage with people all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and it's good. I feel like I have the good ability to meet people where they're at too.
Yes.
So if I came in here and everybody was like not smiling, I'd be like, all right, girl, great.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I get very robotic like that. When I see rooms that are very kind of muted and toned down, I'll just sit in my corner and then start to disassociate. And I'm like, suddenly I'm floating.
Yes,
Suddenly I'm not here. Suddenly I'm
Yes.
just a body with a wig on or something. And I'm just
The
not.
spiral.
Yes,
Spiral.
exactly. Then that ensues and the math calculation meme is going on in my head and everything. But
All the above.
yeah, I'm glad to have you here though.
Thank you, love. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I discovered you. I followed you on Instagram for a minute now at this point, but I think my first time seeing you live wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
It was at the Britney party in December.
Yes. What's funny about that show is that I had taken like a month off.
Okay.
I was out of town. I was actually in Italy for a month
Okay.
in November. And I had just come back, and that Britney show was my first show back. It was my first time back in drag in a full month. So I was so nervous. I was like, am I going to remember how to like paint? Am I going to remember? Because $3 bill too. That's where the show was.
Exactly. Yep.
$3 bill is like
Shows.
the biggest shows, baby. You're giving shows if you're a $3 bill. Not
Yep.
everybody giving shows a $3 bill. But
But
if you are giving
A
shows
Nikki O
$3
production,
a Nikki-
let alone shout out to Nikki O.
Right.
Nikki O
Shout out to
production.
Nikki.
Yeah.
If you're in one of those shows, bitch, you put on shows. And my song was Work Bitch.
Yep.
And I was like, there are queens who are like dancing divas of the South. That's what I call them. No matter where they're from, dancing divas of the
Of the South.
Of the South, baby.
It could be of the South of the Bronx.
The Bronx,
you
right.
know?
It could be the South of Brooklyn. It could be the South of Staten Island, wherever.
South of Canada, yeah.
South of Canada, dancing diva of the South. I do not consider myself one of those. I do move. I can move and on beat.
Right.
Okay. But I was like, why did I pick this song? But then you know what? I was just like, we just gonna give it.
I thought you ate.
Thank you, baby.
I really do. Like you do every
you.
time, but that number was fun too because I heard the song come up. I was like, okay,
Right.
this is a fan favorite.
Mhm.
We do this a lot. I'm a deep Britney stan for those that know me.
Okay.
Like I have
Good
Britney
to know.
tattoos and everything. Like
Period.
that's my mother. Like if I was Caucasian, that would be my mother.
That's my mother.
And she kind of is my mother regardless. Like
Yes.
paper signed and everything. But when you came out and did it, it was such a dramatic take of it, which is
Yes.
what the song kind of is. It's fucking dramatic. Yet
Yes.
the song is camp at the same time.
Exactly.
It's a very simple, I don't want to say basic song, but like the lyrics are literally, you want a hot body, you want a Bugatti, you want a Maserati.
Yes.
It's not the most like compelling piece of music lyrically,
Yes.
but you still gave it a fun story and it was fucking exciting. You were like the first act, I think, too. Like
Yeah,
first
I was
few.
early. I was early.
You know, so you really got the people going. It was you, Junior Mint,
Junior. Oh,
Mix
who I
Pink.
adore.
I love.
Mixed Pink. I don't know. My phone is over there. I was just texting. Mixed Pink.
Really?
She's probably going to text me right now and be like, bitch, why you ain't responding?
Why are you leaving my messages unread and everything? That was an amazing show. And for you to be a part of that show as your kind of comeback after a month hiatus,
Yeah.
that must have been fun.
It was fun. It felt, it was very like an explosion
Yeah.
of sorts. And I feel like my drag career has kind of come in phases in a way. Like there's moments that like kind of like push me a little bit higher
I see.
and a
Okay.
little bit higher every time. And I think that kind of December, January little like stint of time
Yeah.
was like a push up, right? Because then I think I got like more visibility in front of people.
Mhm.
And it's weird because I'm not one of the girls in the scene that has like I call them like double digit K followers.
Yes,
know.
exactly.
Like I'm not one
The
of the
IG
girls-
divas,
Yeah, the
everything,
IG
yeah.
divas. I'm not an IG diva. I actually am not a fan of social media at all.
Yeah.
Like I only post when I like absolutely have to.
Have to.
Or if somebody's like, we have to do promo, I'll
Mhm.
post. But I'm not a social media queen at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people in New York City know who I am, right? Because I am performing and I am out there working.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird visibility thing.
Completely. I think that's even more fierce though, because people know your art at its core. They don't just know the pictures. They don't just know the curated image of yourself. I mean, granted, like drag and drag identity is kind of a real life curated image of one's own being. But, you know, when people are coming to see shows, they're not coming to see your Instagram. They want to see you perform. So if they know you as the one who turns it every time they see you, for me personally, as a former drag entertainer, not completely former, but a drag fan, I would prefer that over just like, yeah, they're popular on Instagram, because some of these people, you see them on Instagram and it's no shade. Everyone has their own ways of expressing themselves.
Absolutely.
They're more expertise on Instagram.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes. And that's fine. Like,
that's fierce.
There's so many queens that have been, have gotten their fame from Instagram.
For sure.
Right. But I'm more so like, what's the performance like? I want to see it in real life.
Exactly. You know? Exactly.
I'm like, as much as I love seeing, you know, because one of my favorite things is that after a queen does a show, you see like their Instagram story and it's like,
yep,
you know, all of the little performance videos. And I always like watching those.
Me too.
More than the photo shoots. I'm like, yeah, the photo shoot is good, girl. Yeah, you spent $600, but plus on that, I don't know why. But you did. You did.
Exactly. And you know, nothing is more bittersweet than watching those like reposted Instagram stories of somebody performing from the night before and it's an event you didn't go to. And you're just like, damn, I should have went and saw so-and-so perform. Like, that's a good feeling. That's a feeling you want as an entertainer. You want people to have FOMO about you and your art, not you and your Instagram pictures. Because I could always just go search at Julie J and I'll be there. Yeah. Julie J NYC, follow her.
Yeah, please.
You know? But you mentioned the phases of your drag career, and I kind of wanted to get into how did Julie J form, especially you talk a lot about personal identity and how history kind of mix in with identity of oneself and drag. And I just wanted to know, how did Julie J become, or when did you align with Julie J, the drag
that's a good
persona?
One. That's a good one.
Yeah, because sorry to interrupt, but I hate the whole idea of like, when did you start drag?
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that you didn't ask that question, because people ask that question and I'm like, girl, I've been doing drag forever. It ain't a start.
It's like when people are like, when did you know you were queer? It's like, I don't know like a specific day. You kind of just know.
You just know.
So I like saying, when did it align with you? When did that divine alignment come and you're just like, oh, this is a way I need to express myself. So
absolutely. Well, when I am originally from Texas. So originally from Fort Worth, Texas. I moved to New York when I was 17. I had like maybe just turned 18. It was like July of whatever year I was 17, turning 18. And I went to Sarah Lawrence College for theater. And the first show that I was in was a show called The Colored Museum. And I played a drag queen in the show. And so that was my first time in drag. Well, someone else put me in drag. There are photos out there on the internet. I have tried to scrub all of them. Yeah. So that they cannot be found.
I get that.
Because it's so bad. So bad. But that was like my first taste of it, right? The first taste of like the power of it, right? Yeah. And this is gonna sound sad, and I preface this always when I talk about drag, because I'm like, I don't want you all to think that I'm like depressed all the time, because I'm not. But or that my life is sad. But I always felt like when I was in drag that people paid more attention. And RuPaul talks about this a lot, of when you find the thing that the world opens up to you with.
I know what you're about to say.
You know, as soon as you find that thing, you have to claim it.
You have to lean into it.
You have to lean into it. And so when I was in theater, when I was acting regularly, you know, that's how I was good. Like, no, that was a good thing. And I think it informs my performance style in drag too, right? But when I graduated college, I did drag here and there when I was in college, but it wasn't until I got out of college and was auditioning for shows and things just weren't sticking, right? I was a young Black queer person. Nobody was writing roles necessarily for us until Pose came along, right? And then of course everyone's like, oh my God, are you auditioning for Pose? Are you doing Pose? Are you an extra in Pose? And it's like, as much as I would like to do that, right? I had just gotten to a point where I was a little tired of the system,
Exactly.
Right? There was like a machine of acting in New York, right?
Mhm.
And if you weren't in Pose, you were in a production of Angels in America,
Yep.
or you were in a production of Rent, and if you weren't,
Mainstream's idea of queerness.
right, exactly, and especially POC queerness, right?
Exactly.
So if I wasn't auditioning for The Inheritance, right, because there wasn't really anything in there for me.
No.
I could have auditioned for Pose, but I probably would have been relegated to an extra, right? Which is nothing wrong with that,
Of
right? Like a
course.
lot of my friends were extras in Pose.
Mhm.
But I thought to myself, you know, what can I do for myself? And so then that RuPaul quote, you know, is like
Yeah.
running in my mind of like, when you find the thing that people say, to, that's the thing to lean into. And so I
Yep.
started writing. I wrote this show called If I Knew You Were Coming, I Would Have Worn Eyeshadow, which was this solo drag show. And I was like 21. I think I was 21. Yeah, because that's right when I got out of college. So I was 21 and I wrote this show. I put it up. It went really well. I took it to Italy for this arts residency in Italy.
Nice.
And they loved it too. So I was like, girl, if I can get the Italians on board,
Exactly.
then let me get these local girls together.
Global bookings. Exactly.
Global bookings. I was like, let me get these girls together.
From the jump. Yeah.
From the jump. And so that, like, all of that kind of informed the starting point.
Yeah.
And I had gotten started, you know, doing that show, and people had come and seen it. And I was like, you know, I don't know if I'm ready for the club circuit just yet.
Right.
Right. I don't know if I'm ready for it just yet, because I know that it's very cutthroat. It's very cutthroat. And New York City drag is very competitive, even though it doesn't have to be. It doesn't
That
have
part.
to be.
Exactly.
But it is.
People make it competitive.
People make it competitive, right? Because they've been taught that a television show is the only metric for defining what drag is, and that show is a competition.
And once money starts to get involved, that's when opportunities suddenly become limited, when they're really not.
They're really not.
They're really not.
They're really not that limited.
Yeah.
They're not. And in fact, what's very humbling, and I'm sure that we'll talk about this a little bit later, I performed Saturday at Bushwig.
Yeah.
Sunday night, I had a show at Macri Park. So we go from Saturday at Bushwig, 1,000 people, right? You're putting on powerhouse performances.
Yeah.
And then I go and do a show at Macri Park, and there's 10 people there.
Yeah.
Right. And so some queens go from that and they're like, oh God, I'm not a bad drag. I am a bad drag queen because only 10 people came out to my show. And it's like, no.
No, baby.
No. You could be fantastic. You could be the talk of the fucking town.
Exactly.
And then perform for 5 people. Now it's up to you to keep that same level of performance.
If anything, keeping 10 people entertained in a small room shows more of your talent.
Absolutely.
And more of your strength as a performer than entertaining anyone at Bushwig. Everyone's on drugs anyways.
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's drunk on drugs. By 9 o'clock, bitch, I hope I'm drunk and on drugs. Like,
by 9 o'clock, hello.
Right? Like, I'm not looking for the most flawless performance in the world. Just something to capture my attention.
Yeah, exactly. If you drop to the ground and fall, I'm just like...
Give it, bitch.
Yep.
She's serving. She's giving shows, you know. So anyway, back to the evolution.
Yep.
Once I finished Eyeshadow, I was like, okay, this was like January 2020, February 2020. I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to start the club scene. So like the entirety of 2019, right, was really honing in on what it is. And then 2020 started, and it was like, all right, now is the time to really push
apply it. Yeah,
to
for sure.
really apply it. And so February 2020, I was like, all right, at the end of the month, I am going to start the competition circuit in New York City. And because that is like, as much as I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about the competition circuit in New York City, it's
kind of one of the only ways to get in. Yeah.
Unless you have like some notable drag parent
of
some sort that kind of like catapults you
exactly. You come in with some type of like social media presence already, or but to your point exactly, competitions has been the root of how you get started.
It's the root
here in the city. Yeah,
it really is the root. And of course, as we know, February 2020 was the beginning of the
Let's
pandemic.
start some live drag, shall we?
So we were like, well, no more of that.
Yep.
No more of that. And so everything became digital.
Mm.
And in a way, at first, I was so disappointed about it because, and mind you, at that time, I was still acting as well. So I was acting and getting started into drag.
Okay.
So I had just signed my first equity contract, actually,
Okay.
right before the pandemic started. And that show got canceled. And so
Really?
it was kind of like the universe was saying, let's
Yep.
go this direction
Mm-hmm.
and just see. It's going to be really scary,
But let's see.
but let's see what happens.
For sure.
And so that pandemic time, I think I call it like the marination time,
Yeah.
right? Because it's when I just had all these ideas for different things, for makeup, for numbers, for I was writing so much during that time. I would went through a breakup. It was all these. I always say that some of the best art comes from mental breakdown.
Completely. 100%.
Which is like a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you share and you're like, oh, I've overshared.
Yes, exactly. But you need it. Like us as creatives, we kind of depend on stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm never scared to get my heart broken, because I'm like, I know it's going to influence or motivate me somehow.
Oh my gosh, yes,
You know?
absolutely.
It's like that extra fuel that's just like, okay, I got this now.
Yeah, and it's funny, to circle back, Work Bitch came, I had just ended a relationship too.
Really?
Yes. And so that November was a month, 2021. So the pandemic started. During the pandemic, during all of 2020, I was just marinating, right, on everything. And I started to write a new show called Faulty Defense Mechanisms, which is still online. I'm thinking about taking it down, even though my close friend and roommate is like, you have to keep it up. You have to keep it up for history's sake. You have to keep it up. And it's not bad. It's just, that was just a different point.
Yeah.
Right, a different point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that show, and then things started opening back up again.
Yeah.
And the competition started back up again. Bars, clubs started opening.
Right.
So I was like, all right, now's the time. And if I don't hit the gas now, I'm going to miss it.
You might miss it.
I'm going to miss the window.
Yeah.
And so I did a competition called Are You the Next Diva?
Yeah.
Hosted by Janelle Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
In early 2021. And I lost to Luxmore London, who I
love.
adore.
Love.
She's like
so
the queen
fucking
of queens.
sickening. Yeah.
She's everything. I lost to her, and I say to myself, I'm like, girl, bitch, I lost to Lux. Not many of you girls can say that. Okay?
That part. That part.
I am okay losing to Lux.
Yeah. It's like, if you're not gonna pick me, pick the next best one.
Pick the next best one. Absolutely. And at first I was like, oh God, I lost. But so much came from that night. So much came from that night.
Yeah.
I can trace at least 90% of the bookings that I have gotten over the past 2 years from that one.
Really?
Yeah, like a family
Wow.
tree,
Yeah.
almost like go, and it will end up somehow back at
Was
that.
it because everyone just happened to be at Are You the Next Diva?
Yeah, and I did a good job.
Oh, 100%. That's a given, babes.
That night it was, and this was back.
This
was back when like I said, things were just opening back up.
Yep.
So the
People
girls
were
were hungry. They were coming out. And that's not to say that the competitions now aren't that. But
after a pandemic where we're all inside doing Twitch streams and getting in drag in our living rooms,
people were like, girl, this is the time. And a lot of girls that had been doing the competition have been doing it for weeks and didn't even make it to top 4.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
And so I had come in, it was my first time, and I was just runner up.
Wow.
All the way to the end.
Wow.
And so that was kind of like the first right? So I was on people's radars. And then around that time, I also met Nikki.
Yeah.
And so I started doing a lot of Nikki's shows as well. And that kind of kept going up. And so that was kind of all of 2021 until fall 2021. And then I did Lady Liberty, which was at the Q at the time. And that was what is it? They call it New York City's biggest drag competition.
Yeah.
The largest drag competition. I don't. Pre-pandemic, I think
Perhaps, yes.
Perhaps.
Exactly.
And I think they say that because it has gotten a lot of drag race girls. It has produced.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of drag
completely.
race girls.
The Ritz too, had what was it? The thing on Mondays or Wednesdays?
Yes.
That's where like Cracker got her start.
Yes.
All those girls.
Turn Wednesday or
Turn Tuesdays or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and Look Queen, all those shows, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another one. And so those kind of the Lady Liberty, when I did that in the fall of 2021, I won, right? And so that was the first one that I won. And it's interesting because when I did Are You the Next Diva, and this will get into a conversation about different types of drag, different types of styles, right? Who's judging the competition?
Yes.
Right? What type of drag are they
looking for?
What type of drag do they do? How experienced are they in their breadth of knowledge of drag?
Yeah.
Right? And so when I did Lady Liberty, when I did Are You the Next Diva, I was like, I know exactly what type of drag they're looking for. I know exactly what performance style they're looking for. I know that at base level, right, that this competition is one that is looking to be entertained in the 4 to 5 minute slot that you have.
Right.
Right. And so that's what I did for that competition, right? Meeting people where they are.
Exactly, yeah.
Meeting people.
Taking note and applying, so yeah.
Absolutely. And so when I did Lady Liberty, I was like, I know what they're looking for, but I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do something completely different. So I did a ballad. I stood in one place the whole time, did not move, was a spotlight like right here. Did the song.
What song was it?
It was In Love with Another Man by Jasmine.
Perfect. Love.
So I was like, I'm gonna do that, and if they don't like it, they don't like it, but that's me, and that's what I have to offer. Made top 2.
Look what happens.
Yeah, right. Made top 2 because I said to myself, this is who I am. This is it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna apologize for it.
No.
We're just gonna give it and see what happens. Made top 2. The lip sync song. It was me and Marsha.
Okay. Love.
Yes, we were top 2. Keep an eye on Marsha. And we did Break Free by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And it was funny because one of the judges, before they announced top 2, one of the judges, I won't say who because it'll like break the rules, they were like, I hope you know how to dance. Like, I hope you know how to move because the song is an up tempo.
Wow.
And I was like, oh yeah, I think I got it. And I ended up winning, girl. Ended up doing the lip sync and winning. And that was a big jump. That was a big jump. That night I met Bianca Del Rio, who was in the audience watching the show, which was like major.
An honor, yeah.
Truly an honor. Britta Filter I met that night, who was the host.
Yeah. Who's now your drag mother.
Who's now my drag mother, yes. I met Dahlia Sin that night. I met Aquaria that night. This was back when the Q was like, the hot place to be. Jan, Jiggly Caliente, just a lot of queens that have been through the machine
for sure.
Have the notability, have seen a lot, know a lot, and I got really great advice, from them. And what starts the like next phase of it is that when I was talking to Bianca Del Rio, she was like, "You're at a point now where you need to say yes to everything."
That's amazing advice.
She was like, say yes to everything.
That is amazing advice.
If people ask you to go, it doesn't matter what the size of the venue is. Go. It doesn't matter how many tickets have been sold. Go, give a show, give the best that you can give, right? More importantly than that, make sure that you're talking to people.
Exactly.
All right? Don't be a cunt. I don't know if I can cuss on the
Yes, you can. Right. You absolutely can.
Don't be a cunt. Don't be shady just to be shady. Don't feel like you are, too cunts to
thing.
Yeah, thing that you're beyond, that you can't speak to somebody that comes up
I'm
to
a
you.
title holder, darling. Yeah, no, none of that.
Fuck all that.
Yep.
I don't give a goddamn. The thing, I say I'm thankful for the competition circuit, but if we stripped all of those titles away, girl, I would not give a fuck.
Yeah,
I would
completely.
not care, right? To me, what's more important is the people that I have met,
For sure.
right? The people that I engage with,
Yeah.
right?
What your art did for
Yeah,
people.
what my art did for people, and in real life, what
Exactly.
my art did for people,
Exactly.
not what it did for somebody online,
Yeah.
right? I want to know you as a person. It's like when I go to concerts, I don't be taking out my phone. I don't care, girl.
Just there for the moment.
I'm there for the moment because I can watch everything online again. Somebody is gonna have it on YouTube.
Someone is going to.
I don't need to have it on my phone.
Exactly. It's a special moment. Be in it.
Yeah,
You know.
And so I would say like the past year since that moment, right, has been saying yes to everything that I can say, unless I physically can't be there.
Yeah, of course.
Saying yes to as much as possible. And I think that in the past month or two, that it's started to change a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think it's very important for us as entertainers to know our worth.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I've gone through the phase of saying yes to everything, and I'll still continue to say yes to it if I believe in the project and if I think
for sure
that it's a good fit for who I am as an entertainer.
Yeah.
But also, I think now that I've started to reach a point with, and it's a learning experience.
Completely.
It's a process of saying, all right, this might help me pay a bill, yes, but am I going to get artistic fulfillment from it?
For sure.
Right. And so right now it's like finding the balance of personal life versus work life, right? Because I'm a full-time drag queen.
Yeah.
Full-time. And so people joke with me, like some other queens are like, Julie, girl, you are a workhorse. You're a workhorse.
Yeah.
You know, you'll show up. I'm not a workhorse though in comparison to some girls.
Yeah.
Because I adore so much. I also was just messaging her on Instagram, Dev Doe.
Love.
Who I adore.
Love.
Dev and I actually got started around the same time.
Really? And
like
look at all that y'all are doing.
Yeah.
In such a little period of time.
Yes.
That's
so
amazing.
It was really good. I think the last time I saw her was at Bushwig, but we overlap every once in a while.
Yeah, she's always working.
She's always working. And
always working.
She's like, I tell people joke with me, be like, Julie, girl, you got 5 shows this week. And I'm like, I might have 5 shows this week. Dev has 5 today.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I literally be on my way back home from work. I work early mornings and I come back home around like 2 or 3-ish. I'll literally be getting off the train and her and I live on the same stop. I'll see her coming up, full gigged, everything ready to go. And I'm like, look at her. And I'll just be like, from across the platform, I'm like, I know she's about to go work. Let her have her moment. Bye, baby. Love you. I'll see you later.
Yes. And I love Dev so much. And Dev and I have talked about that too a little bit as well, of like we've gone through this phase of saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Right. And now we feel like, and I feel like, and I don't want to put words in Dev's mouth, but it's like, what is going to get us to the place that we want to be?
Completely.
Not the place that somebody else wants to be.
Exactly. And it's a part of growing up.
Yeah.
You know, like you've kind of, and I'm going through this right now at work, it's like you've kind of been through that phase of being like at intern level already. Yes. Even like for drag, it's like you've done the drag intern phase. Yeah. Granted, like you said, you're still open to accepting other opportunities, whether they be smaller venues, whatever the booking price may be. But also at the same time, everything we do takes up our emotional energy.
Oh.
You know? And our emotional energy is like a pitcher of water. We could pour it into several different cups, but then when we get to ours, we gotta have water left for us.
Absolutely.
If not, then we gotta start rationing out how we use our water and our emotional energy. Because then if not, you're just drained. You're like, okay, yeah, I did this many shows, but what do I have left for myself at the end of this week?
What I got left for myself? Nothing. Nothing.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Nothing.
Exactly. Perfect plug for that.
And you know, I think that for a lot of people, particularly other drag queens, right?
Yeah.
That this thing that we're talking about is a hard thing to understand.
Very.
It's a hard thing to understand, right? Because a lot of people take some of those things personally.
Yes.
They take me saying, Diva, unfortunately I cannot make it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I've done everything I could to be there, and I just can't. For example, last night, my apartment flooded. My basement flooded.
Yeah.
So I spent all day yesterday cleaning drag, doing laundry, trying to get everything taken care of that I possibly could, right? And I had to call out of a show, which I hate to do.
Yeah, of course.
I hate calling out of a show because, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to disappoint anybody, particularly if somebody was like, oh, I bought a ticket to the show because you
gonna be there. Yeah.
You know, but it was like, there was no way.
It was one of those shit happens situations. Yeah.
Shit happens. Shit happens. And so it's one of those things that like, I also have to relinquish to the universe that guilt.
Yeah.
Right. That guilt of, hey, I just can't do it. I don't have any water left.
Yeah.
The pitcher's empty.
Yeah. Sometimes like you can't do it all.
Yeah. You can't do it.
You can't do it all. My friend told me that a few weeks ago because I was stressed over something stupid. Like I didn't get to the laundromat in time and I couldn't do my laundry that day. And I was like, I could do this, and this all in one day, but I didn't make it to that. And they're just like, chill. It's going to be open tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't do it all in a day.
No.
You'll be fine. Same with you.
There'll be another show tomorrow.
There'll be another show tomorrow. Exactly. That person could get another ticket for tomorrow, or they'll see you around. You're everywhere.
Yeah, they will see me around. And I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have as many opportunities as I have.
Yeah.
You know, but I also, especially people that ask me, or newer queens that come into the city or that are just getting started, you know, ask me about how to get to the level or of just the amount of shows that I have.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I try to be as honest as I can and say, you know, it is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready to, you know, when you get one thing has to be left behind.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so the past year, like, I haven't necessarily, you know, been going on a lot of dates or like spending a lot of time out in the club.
Yep.
If I am at the club,
you're working.
I'm working. You know, I'm
there's
most
a
likely in
difference. There's a huge difference.
Yes, there's a huge difference. And so I think that some people, when they they're like, oh girl, but you're out all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But I'm like on the clock.
Yeah, completely. Right. You're worrying about your number in the second set.
Yeah.
You're worrying about your quick change. You're worrying about this. Not to mention you probably spent the last half of your evening getting ready for the show.
Yes.
So by the time you pull up, you're exhausted.
Yeah, girl.
That's what people don't know.
There's 3 hours that happens before I even show up to the show. That is like...
And you probably stress about so much shit in that moment too. And then when you get to the venue, you're just like, okay, now time to stress about this shit right here.
Yes. And making sure that I am on, right? That I'm on, that I'm nice, and I'm available for everybody, right?
Yep.
Because that is... I think that is important. I think there's been a lot of, and Drag Race girls talk about this a little bit too, of like that thing of having to be on all the time. And when people want to come up to you and take a picture, you know, or tell you their life story, it happens at brunches all the time.
Yeah.
Like, parents will come up and they're like, my daughter identifies as they, them now. And like, she's been through so much bullying. And like, at first I didn't really, you know, understand it, but now I do. And like, thank you so much for everything. And you're just like, woo!
Right, which is lovely. But it's like when it's a brunch, you've already had to get up early. It's probably like you're done with your second set. They're all telling this one last person's doing their tip number. You're just like, huh? But you have to somehow muster up the energy to be like, really, baby? Thank you. I appreciate it. And which, you know, it's always genuine, of course.
It's always. And I'm happy to.
Yeah.
But it also takes a little bit of that water.
100%.
Right? It takes a little bit of that water. So, and people, I tell people, they're like, girl, what do you do on your days off? Like, what do you do? Nothing. And when I get home, I'm like, I'll take everything off. Unless I have to do like planning for whatever's coming.
Of course,
next,
yeah.
I am sitting on my couch.
Yeah, being still is so great.
Oh my gosh. It's something that like I really, really during the pandemic appreciated.
Me too.
Like learned to appreciate is that moment of just like stillness.
Yeah. Did you know that during the pandemic that it was never going to be like that? And that's that kind of helped you appreciate it more?
I think so.
Because that was like me. I was like, I know once everything goes back to normal, my life is going to be busy in a way where I've never seen it before. And what is it right now? Busy in a way we've never seen it before.
Oh my gosh.
And I always think about it. I'm like, damn, if I could go back to those days, wake up on Sunday to claim my employment, go right back to bed.
The employment. The unemployment.
The girls were living. Oh my God, the Ulta trips, everything.
I can tell you right now, my drag, the unemployment benefit.
Hey, right.
Baby.
Paid for by Biden.
I would not be where I am today without
neither would most of us.
Good old Uncle Sam coming in clutch.
Biden, or who was even in office that day, whichever, that one. Yeah, I don't want to say he came handy, but
whoever that was.
Yeah, exactly. The office that handled the monetary benefits that we once received during the pandemic.
They helped us out.
Very handy.
Yeah.
But drag is crazy, man.
It is. Like, it is. And it's like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. There are times when I get frustrated with it, right? Like those moments of, I think, the competitive nature, even when it's not.
Yes.
I think that frustrates me a little bit. And actually, a great example is Bushwig was just this weekend.
Oof. I was just about to bring this up.
Please. Yes. We can talk about Bushwig.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Bushwig. We'll get into the details. There was a queen who, a newer queen on the scene who I ran into when I was there. And she, I was like, oh my God, Diva, I'm so excited to see your performance. You're going to kill it. You're going to be so good. And she said to me, yeah, it's going to be great. I just really hope that I make everyone proud.
Aww.
And like that crushed me. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, no, listen to me.
Yeah.
You're doing this for you. All right. It don't matter. You have made everybody proud already.
Exactly.
You're on this lineup, right? It's like when now that you're here, you're in the room.
Yeah.
You've done the things to get into the room.
This moment should be for you because it is.
You. Do what makes you feel good. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so many people believe in you. You're beautiful. This girl, she is the next thing.
Yeah.
She's the next thing. And yeah, it just like, but I think that it's because this generation of drag has been taught that you have to impress this person, that person, that person, and this person
100%
in order to get to this point, that point, and that point.
Yeah.
And at first, I was in that mindset, right? When I did Are You the Next Diva, I was in that mindset of I need to be cunt to get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was quite the opposite.
As it most always is.
As it most always is. You know, it was more so about, you know, the conversations that I was having with
completely.
People. You know, the people say that it pays to be nice. It literally has paid my rent to be nice.
The way to last long in any industry,
oh,
let alone our industry, is to be nice to people. I don't look at the cameras during the show, but we're going to look at the cameras here.
Hello.
If you want to last long, a fierce resume is one thing. But a kind and a genuinely kind spirit will get you far.
Yes.
Not to flex, but it's just because it's so perfect timing with everything. Patti LaBelle literally told me that on Monday.
Oh, I saw those videos. Icon.
I'm sorry.
I'm like breathing in her air right now. I love it.
Take it.
Please.
She told me right before I left, she said, sweetie, Joey, stay the way you are. Don't ever change.
Yeah.
Be sweet. Stay sweet. Don't ever change. That's going to take you far.
Yeah. And it has. It has.
And look how it worked for her.
Yes.
And look at the people, the drag entertainers we've seen right now. Of course, there's going to be those people that have long careers and then you meet them and they're like, they're not all that put out to be. But those ones that you meet that have been kind, genuine people, they've had a fulfilling career and they're fulfilled inside.
Yes.
At least from what we could tell on the surface.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. And it's funny because over the past 2-3 years, I've met so many queens, right? So many that I have maybe not necessarily revered. Some of them I've revered, but others just that I've known as like prominent figures,
right,
in nightlife. And sometimes it's a hit, and sometimes it's a vast miss.
It's a miss.
It's a big miss.
Yeah,
it's a big miss, and not taking it personally.
Completely.
Not taking it personally.
Yep.
But I'm also now at a point where, and I think that Bushwig was a big turning point for me in this of like, if you're not a good person, if you're not a kind person,
Yep.
if you're somebody who looks down on other people, it's a chop.
Do not subscribe to it.
Don't subscribe to
At
it.
all.
Yeah, it's a chop for me. And because it takes so little energy to say hello to somebody, to say how you're doing. I don't even care if you don't remember who I am. You ain't got to remember who I am.
Just be pleasant.
Y'all think I remember half like the people that I meet in the club. The lights are low. I don't have glasses on when I'm in drag, so I can't see shit. People coming up to me drunk, on drugs, whatever. I meet so many people. Even if I don't know your name, I'm going to take the time out to make sure
completely
that I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm present.
For sure.
I'm present. Now, baby, I might have to go and do this number real quick.
Of course.
I love you, and I'm going to see you afterwards. Okay?
But you're not gonna, oh, thank you, baby.
No.
Because a lot of people do that.
Oh.
A lot of people do that. And it's like,
a lot.
And they won't even be busy too. That's the thing. No. I'm like, you're not even hosting tonight, nor performing. You're just here to show up and gig.
No. They just showing up in drag. Just have a moment. And I think that some queens think that in order to feel like a queen, you have to be unavailable.
Yep.
And I never have been attracted to that. That is nothing that has made me feel at home. And part of me thinks to myself, at some point in time, that person had somebody that they really revered that had that happen to them. And now they think that that's the way to be.
That's the way to be. Yeah.
And it is not.
It isn't, because what I realized too, and like I've been going through this own personal journey with myself of like growing up, becoming an adult, becoming a boss in my industry, becoming a boss in my workplace, becoming a boss as a producer, becoming a boss as a queer person of color.
Yes.
I don't want to say it's easy to, but it's tempting to be like, why don't I just be a cunt?
Yeah.
Why don't I just be a cunt?
Yeah.
Especially when people have shit on you for so long. It's right there. The button is right there.
Oh, and it's easy.
Oh, it's so easy.
It's like covered
it's so
in glitter.
easy.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It even has an aroma to it.
Yes.
Lavender, perhaps.
Of course.
But you know what happens when you press that button though? You go to sleep feeling terrible about yourself.
Terrible.
Or at least that's what I would feel. Or at least I wouldn't feel fulfilled. I would feel empty. And I would, even if I don't remember that specific instance, I was a cunt to somebody, I wouldn't just feel right in my spirit.
Right. Or a great example, and I see this in nightlife specifically, you look around and suddenly ain't nobody around you. You sitting alone in the VIP. But you're sitting alone in the VIP because you haven't taken the time, right?
Yep.
To connect with people around you.
Yeah.
Right? To find that common ground between you. Meet people where they're at.
For sure.
And of course, it's nightlife, it's the club.
Yeah.
It's been all constructed to be a facade.
100%.
In the first
Speak
place.
on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That at base level, it's the place that we come to escape to, right?
It's queer high school.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's queer high
just
school.
redone.
Yeah. And so I'm like, at what point, and the thing is that I know that we're all thinking it, but not everyone's gonna say it, right?
Yeah.
Because when I say it, everyone's like, yes, sis, that's so right. You said that. Period.
Nope.
Period.
Nope.
But is it really?
Is it?
Is it real? Are you really hearing it? And mind you, everything is a growing process.
Of course.
That takes time.
Of course.
But mama,
how much time do we have left?
how much time do we have left?
And also, it doesn't take a lifetime to learn how to be kind.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. And it's like, I get it. We've all been through shit.
Yes.
We've all been through shit, especially for us as queer people. We've
Absolutely.
all been through shit. Compassion is great.
Yeah.
And you need that to be a kind person. But compassion and evil don't go together.
They don't. They don't.
They really don't go together. So you could have understanding for somebody and what they've been through, but also at the same time, what does it?
Yeah. Where does it get you?
Yeah, where does it get you? And that brings me to your performance at Bushwig.
Yes.
Because you mentioned the sitting alone in VIP, which I literally have the explanation for your performance put in my notes right here.
Oh, yes. Amazing.
Because Julie performed Scream
Yes.
by Michael and Janet Jackson.
Yes. One of my favorite songs.
It was excellent. Fun story. I was in the crowd with one of my friends who's a Janet stan of mine.
Oh.
And we like met at like it was one of Nikki's Come On Everybody, like 1,000 Nights of Janet or whatever over there too. And we met and we were talking about Janet. And then you were announced. And our conversation ends and we turn towards the stage and watch. And then you hear the sounds in the beginning of Scream start. We were like, it's like Janet and Julie from the gods in heaven heard us. And your performance was incredible.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to read the full-on excerpt you put for Instagram for the explanation of the performance. So you said, for Bushwig this year, I wanted to send a clear message. Community is paramount, and if you're not using your voice or your platform for those community members on the margins of society, then I'm uninterested. There's more to drag, more to life, more to art than just being kind. Community will be what saves us. Not likes, not followers, and definitely not the VIP section. There's no group or individual more important than the other. We owe it to ourselves, our communities, to lead with love, to lead with kindness, to lead with patience. Investing in what brings us together should always be the focus. The frivolous clout chasing, the drama, the velvet ropes, all of that will never be there for you when the going gets tough. When you need someone in your corner, when you're sitting alone. There's no need for hierarchy. We are stronger together than we have ever been apart. Be about the change, not just when it's cool. I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm speaking, and when I need to, I'm screaming.
Period. Yes.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you so much, love.
And it was so accurate.
Yeah.
It's so accurate. Song choice, impeccable, first of all.
Thank you.
Not just because it's an excellent song, but because that's what the song is about.
Yeah.
You know, Michael and Janet were speaking from their perspective as A-list entertainers on a pop scale. Yeah. And you were speaking about it from what I could assume for the queer community. Yeah. Specifically the queer nightlife scene.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was so great. It was really so great, especially for me. I told you before we started recording, I used to do drag in Miami for like a few years. I would do it in DC and everything. It was great. Love it. But just like anywhere else, just like any sub-community, it gets politicized. Drama starts to get involved. And where does both of those things come from? Ego.
Ego. Oh.
Ego and projection.
Yeah.
It's just people projecting what they wish they were in high school onto people now that they have the power and the popularity and the opportunity to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that like, I think it's unfortunate, right, that the industry, right, our nightlife industry has succumbed to that.
Right.
You know, because I don't think that it has always been that way. And I actually know for a fact that it has not always been that way.
Completely.
So for example, Linda Simpson, who hopefully folks know. If you don't, you should look her up. I'm actually seeing her later today.
Love.
Linda has a book called Drag Explosion that just came out recently. And it is a photo book of a collection of different photos. There's not a whole lot of text in it, but every once in a while, Linda does these presentations on the book where she talks about it. And she talks about how the reason that she calls the period from the 80s to 90s the drag explosion was because it was an explosion of community.
Yes.
Right. So we had these events like Wigstock, where there was no, this person is going to get a 9 p.m. slot because they have this many followers and they will attract this many ticket sales.
Yep.
And
miss
all
out
of
on
this,
everybody from 4 to 6.
From 4 to 6, right? And to me, I think to myself, I'm like, God, what if like our drag community was like that, right? Where it wasn't, where we had, hypothetically, I don't know, I would say like Janelle number 5 is performing at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Would everybody show up at 4 p.m.?
Exactly.
If we had a drag race girl, Aquaria, perform at 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Would her picture be the biggest 2 on the flyer?
Would it be the biggest?
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows, right? And I have to commend Bushwig, because I think that what they are doing in a way is emulating that same sense of,
I noticed that too.
Wigstock.
Yes.
That same kind of queer punk, subculture,
Yeah.
that I crave.
It's queer art.
Yeah.
It's not even
art.
just drag.
No, exactly. It's queer art.
Because
there's so much more than drag happening. There's
completely
music, there's DJs, there's performance art.
Vendors,
there's
all of it.
All of the above. Queer chefs.
Yeah.
And like food organizations.
Yeah, completely.
That come.
It's essentially like the queer Coachella.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Absolutely. Queer Coachella. And so for Bushwig this year, I was like, last year, for example, I was at like 4 p.m. I was happy to be there.
Yeah, completely.
Happy to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
4 p.m. It don't care. They could have put me at 3 p.m. I would have been like, we gonna give it. Not a lot of people will say that.
Yes.
Not a lot of people say that.
People be disappointed with that slot.
People be disappointed with that slot.
Which they shouldn't.
Which they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be.
Bushwig is a huge gig.
It's a huge gig and it's a huge opportunity. And I'm so thankful for it. I was thankful when I found out that I got an 8:30 p.m. slot. I was like, oh my God, I really have to like give it this year.
Yeah.
I really have to bring it because I know the expectation of other people. That other people are gonna do the thing of like, oh well, you have an 8:30 p.m. slot, girl, so that's good.
Yeah.
So while there was a little bit of pressure, I also was like, I'm gonna the same Lady Liberty mindset.
I was just about to say that.
Right?
That voice, yeah.
That same voice of saying, just do you. Do what you want to do. Say what you want to say. Somebody's gonna listen. If it's just one person, that's also okay. That's also okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you.
I performed in bars when it's been 2 people sitting there.
Completely.
And still had to give it. So keep that same energy.
Yeah, and if anything, that experience performing for 2 people brought you here.
Yes, absolutely.
If you could entertain 2 people, you could entertain 2,000.
Yes. And it's funny, the Mary Cherry introduced me for Bushwig this year.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a full circle moment because the first Bushwig that I ever went to, the performance that I remember the most vividly was Mary Cherry's.
Yep.
And I was just in the audience, like I wasn't performing or anything. This was like maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, completely.
4 years ago. Yeah.
And look how that worked. All because back in the beginning, you made that decision to lean into what you knew what was the right decision for you, is to put acting to the side for now.
Yeah.
And pursue drag.
Yes. And the money has been better.
Yeah.
The relationships have been better. The friendships. And that's not to say that I don't still have all of those things that I had in theater. But like we talked about earlier, the world just opened.
Opens, yeah.
The world opened.
Yeah.
And I just answered the call. Yeah,
completely. And there's going to be more instances of that flash throughout our lives. And I think that's just like the call to authenticity.
Yes.
Yes.
And that call is one that I like, it like is my guiding light.
Completely.
In what I do, right? I'm not the girl that has like the top makeup skills. I can't make the best outfits in the world. I can't rhinestone out of my ass. I'm not like splits and dips and tricks, but I'm Julie J. Girl, that's what I got.
Exactly. And it's more than enough. Trust me. That's why I didn't say or yeah when you're saying I don't have the best makeup because I'm standing right here in the middle of daytime. You look fucking fantastic.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
But what you are is what you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what you bring is what you bring.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's just a thing of fucking just growing older, growing past our mid-20s and being like, oh, wait, not all of us have to be like twinks. Not all of us to be so-and-so. Like we don't need to necessarily fit or claim to a tribe to belong to everybody.
Absolutely.
If you want to belong to everybody, then just stand alone.
Yes.
And you'll stand out.
Exactly.
It's really that simple.
And that's like, I think it's funny when I was getting started in the competition scene, there was a queen that was like, try wearing a wig. Like just, try doing that. Like just see what happens. And at first I was like, oh God, you're right. I really should. But then I was like, no.
Yeah, completely. You know what?
No,
I am gonna leave.
You know what? No, I am gonna leave. I would have had the pickle juice. The
greatest video of all time.
So good.
Had I accepted the pickle juice, I'd be drinking pickle juice.
It is, and that's the thing.
That's exactly.
It's like if I did what you wanted me to do, I'd be where you're at right now, which is fine. You're in your place. You're in your lane. I'm not interested in that lane.
Exactly.
I'm interested in this one over here.
Exactly. And that's when you sometimes have to look at the person in a very constructive and, normal way. Nothing rude or evil or, overly constructive, and just be like, do I want what they have? No.
Mm-mm.
So why am I going to listen to what you have to say? Granted, us as humans, our instinct tells us when something is genuine from someone, or when it's something you could just take a note from, when it's just critical advice. It's nothing, it's not subjective, it's objective.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
you could also tell when somebody's just telling you something because they want to morph you into what they think you should be.
Yes.
And that's when you just say, fuck no.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it works out in your favor.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I know by you choosing to stay authentic to your style of express yourself via the drag medium, it's benefited you so much more.
Yeah.
Because granted, had you just replicated one of these other girls, what would you just be?
Right. One of these
other girls.
Right. One of the other girls. And I think, to me, I absolutely agree with the statement that all drag is valid, right?
Completely.
Everyone and anyone can do drag. In fact, most people are doing drag and they don't realize that they're doing drag. But it's like to me, it's full freedom and range of expression.
Yeah.
Do whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also told myself that when it doesn't make me happy, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
So in those moments where I'm like, I'm going through the motions, right? And I'll be honest with you, and I didn't say that I feel myself getting to that point.
For sure.
Of going through the motions. I know that when I get to that point, that next is about to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And that comes when you have to take a step back and be like, okay, what can I do more of? And what do I need to do less of?
Yes. Yes. There's I think it's All Stars 1, Chad Michaels as Cher. Is like, I gotta stop getting booked for these chicken shit gigs.
Yeah. That's knowing your worth, though.
And exactly. That's where I'm
worth.
at now, of like saying, all right, what am I doing? Right, because we're all getting paid the same.
Right.
For the most part. Say, for example, a Night of a Thousands, right?
For sure.
And this is a piece of advice that I give to the girls that do Night of a Thousands.
Completely.
Right? It's like, we're all getting paid the same amount. Give you to the best of your abilities within the confines that you have. Don't be going out spending $800.
No.
For 5 minutes?
No.
30 queens. 5 minutes. Come on now.
You can make an impact with hardly anything on.
Hardly anything on.
And we've seen that happen many times before.
Many times. But
Be smart. Be smart. Save your emotional energy. Save that water that you have.
Yes. Keep that picture, baby.
For yourself. Exactly. And unfortunately, our time is wrapping up. Which soon I'm going to have you come
We have
back.
to have a part 2.
Oh my gosh. We have to. Part 2, part 3, the Julie J saga.
Yes.
But to leave off for this time, what's any advice you could give to young queer creatives of any type of medium they choose to, whether they're fellow bachelors of, performing arts students,
yes,
or they're fellow drag entertainers, or, people who want to have their vendors up at Bushwig.
Yeah.
Through all the, adversity and the learning you've been through, what do you think is your best piece of advice to them that you also consistently repeat to yourself?
That's a good one. I have in my drag room, I have this piece of paper that I wrote a long time ago. And it's just like a couple of sentences, but the one that I always come back to is you, meaning me, meaning us all, you are right on time. You're right on time. Whatever it is, whatever that thing is, you're on time to get to that point. You're not far behind. You're not too ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, especially as young people, we say to ourselves, oh, okay, by 25, I want that Grammy, I want that Oscar, I want that Emmy, and I want that Tony.
Yeah.
And Viola Davis didn't get her Oscar until she was 50.
Taraji P. Henson didn't move to Hollywood and start acting until she was 41.
41. Right. Right on time.
Right on time.
Right on time.
My love.
Yeah. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to give you a big hug after. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
You're coming again soon.
Please.
So When y'all see Me, Myself, and Julie J Part 2, please tune in because it's going to be even bigger, even better.
It's going to be great.
Let everyone know where they could find you.
Yes.
In real life, online, all of it, especially in real life, because you do not want to miss out on a Julie J production.
Absolutely. Yes. You can find me on Instagram at juliej.nyc. Where else? On Twitter. I'm trying to tweet more.
Yeah,
I be liking stuff. I be liking stuff. Getting with the times.
Twitter circles, perhaps.
I have it. I got to figure out how to use it. I got to figure out what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I use that.
Twitter is at juliej_NYC. I am, when Drag Race starts back up again, I'm Fridays at $3 Bill.
Love.
Wednesdays at Playhouse, Saturday at the Standard Hotel, and Sundays at Macri Park. And I guest at multiple shows in between all of those normals.
Full time.
Yeah, full time.
And you meant it.
Full time, and I mean it.
You mean it. So go out to see Julie J, as well as follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff at Bad Bussy. And yeah, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see y'all for another episode of Me, Myself, and Thank You.
Bye.
Cool.